Hey guys, welcome to Choppa History. Today brought to you by Indian Motorcycles and Law Tigers. If you guys are in the market for a new motorcycle, make sure you try out an Indian, go test ride one. And if unfortunately you're looking for motorcycle or looking for an attorney, give Law Tigers a call because as we say every week, they are bikers. They are real motorcycle enthusiasts. Give Law Tigers a call. Our show today, we are going to have a special guest, Barbie the Welder. But before we get to that, I wanted to let everybody know, which I forgot to upload a picture of our shirts. Let me see if I have one. Anyway, our shirts are now going to be sold through Competition Distributing. So here's the link. If any of you guys want to buy a Perowitz shirt or a Perowitz hat, go to Competition Distributing. They're on there. And you have, I believe that we're guaranteeing shipping by the 19th. So if you order by the 19th, you'll get it for Christmas. They make a great Christmas present.
Great Christmas presents.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually,
we got
let me grab one.
Yeah.
And I'll just hold it.
Our new shirt design is awesome. I love it. It's pretty popular. A lot of people are picking up the new Perowitz shirts and the Perowitz hats. So if anybody is looking for that last minute Christmas present, get a hold of Competition Distributors, and they have an inventory. And if it's local and you want to come by the shop, we have them here also.
Yeah.
So either come on by the shop or you can get it online through Competition Distributors.
And here's the t-shirts. So they have them online. So that's the website you can get t-shirts at. Also, I want to mention I'm going to post it on my Instagram, which my Instagram is Jody Perowitz. DP's is D Perowitz, and then Perowitz_CycleFab. So if you guys aren't following us, make sure you do. I will have 4 of these cups, tumblers, that I'm going to paint. So if you want dibs on one of the 4 before Christmas, get a hold of me. They're $150 each. I will put names, colors, whatever you guys point me in a direction. So like I said, I only have 4 of these that I'm going to be painting for Christmas for 4 people.
So yeah, get them early because they're going to go quick. This is the present that if you're looking for something different, that for the guy that has everything, a tumbler with their name on it or a logo or whatever, get a hold of Jody and you'll be looking good.
Yeah.
You'll be looking like a hero for Christmas.
Yeah, definitely. Like DP said, it's a present for somebody that you don't know what to get or already has everything or you can't afford what they want.
Like Jody.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
yeah,
somebody that has everything.
Well, it's not that I have everything. It's just what I want. We can't afford. Otherwise, we'd already have it.
Yeah, right.
All right. So let's get to Barbie because I think that this is going to be a cool interview. So, Barbie the Welder. Hey, Barbie.
Hey, Bobby.
How are you doing? Dude, this shirt design is freaking sick. I definitely am buying myself a present because I definitely already have everything, but that shirt I don't have yet. And I'm going over there as soon as we get done with this. If I wasn't on my phone, I'd be already over there ordering one now.
We might have to just do some horse trading and we'll trade for a Barbie the Welder shirt.
Oh, there you go. Sold.
All right, deal. So tell us a little bit of your story because it is a good story.
Man, how far back do you want
me to go? We only have, let's say, an hour.
Yeah.
But
okay, we won't do the deep dive. I'll give you the crib notes on it. Oh man, so my first love is cars, and in high school, my dad was a diesel mechanic for the government, and so I wanted to be an auto mechanic, and got into the industry. It took me a long time. I dealt with a lot of sexism in order to get into it. Once I was in it, still dealt with a lot of sexism and just spent a lot of my life like depressed because of that was my love and like just through a bunch of crap and bullying and stuff when I was a kid and blah, blah, like, poor me kind of stuff. But went through a lot of bullying and bless you. Bless you.
I'm sorry, thanks.
Don't be sorry. just went through depression, and at an early age went into like alcoholism and drugs, and just like it was pretty normal for me to want to kill myself. And this is something that it was normal for me. I didn't realize I was depressed. This is who I was. Fast forward many years,
I like
and
how you said this is who I was.
that I thought that's who I was. Like, just that's who I thought I was. I thought this was normal. Um, Later on, I ended up getting really messed up with drugs. Um, just one thing led to another, and this is why I was still in the automotive industry. Um, just really bad. Ended up in the hospital over it. Like, I turned myself in. I knew that I was just really in a bad place and knew something had to change. Turned myself into the hospital, and I don't know how long it took because time doesn't exist for me, but was able to get through some really deep anger. Like, once I sobered up, I was really angry at myself for I was a single mom, young son, and his dad wasn't around. I raised him completely on my own, and when I realized what I'd done for him, I went through a lot of anger, like, at myself for that. Like, I turned like what was depression into just a massive self-hatred. Um, just to, and this is all stuff I did to myself, just completely and utterly. Everything was here. Um, fast forward,
Yeah. So how'd you get from
fast forward a little bit. I found
welding?
welding. Like, welding changed everything for me. I sat down one evening with my family and neighbors and watched the movie Castaway starring Tom Hanks. And there's a 15-second clip in the beginning of that movie where this woman is I think it's a barn. She's in this barn. It's very dark. There's these giant metal angel wings, and there's like the sparks are going everywhere. And you couldn't tell it was a girl. You see the welder, you see, and then, the FedEx guy comes in and she flips her hood up, and it just spoke to my soul. I can't explain it because I'd never welded before. I did not think I was creative in any way, shape, or form. I mean, my handwriting is egregious. My stick figures are questionable at best. But I knew in my soul that I was meant to be a metal sculptor. I was meant to weld art.
Well, you certainly do an excellent job at it.
Yeah, I mean, the stuff you're doing, Bobby, is,
Yeah, let's
I
show
mean,
some of
it
it.
just blows us away. This one here in particular.
Yeah, so tell us about this one.
Oh, what a great honor that piece was. So it currently resides in a first responders honor park in Painted Post, New York. You can go visit it. Probably wait till the summertime when it's warm.
Yeah, nobody wants to go to New York in December unless it's New York City for Christmas.
You got it. It is beautiful, but I'm not a fan of the cold. So that sculpture was commissioned by Corning, New York, by this park that it's to honor all first responders. And when they reached out to me, like, I had this picture like in my head, like they were like, we want a firefighter rescuing a child, and like this is what I saw in my mind was this. And like, because I can't draw, I was able to go and I kind of like photoshopped, like I googled a window with the curtains blowing, and I googled this. I just kind of like photoshopped it all together and was like, this is what what my idea is. And was blessed that these guys were just like, yes, like, we want you, like, we want this. It was dedicated, was it last year on 9/11? And it's a lot of it's actually scrap metal. So the firefighter and the child that he's rescuing is scrap metal. The frame and the curtain, it's all new. The base is scrap metal. A couple of pieces of like just bigger pieces I had, and then a few pieces of scrap metal just patched in. But I love using scrap metal on my art because it is a way to give something a second chance to be beautiful. It takes something that 100% of companies throw drop, like from a CNC table, they'll throw that drop away. And that's what I use for a lot of the stuff that I'm making is drop from other projects. I just kind of pull stuff in. It's like the kid's head is actually part of a sculpture I made years ago, which was a Cheshire cat. And it just never sold. And it was like one of my favorites. And I love Alice in Wonderland. Like, I identify as Alice. And I love it. But like the sculpture never sold, and it never sold, it never sold. So I took the body of the cat and used that for Hope, which is the angel with where she's down on the ground. She's like sitting on the ground. She's got her head down. The Cheshire Cat's body, I believe, is her body. The tail is the kid's head. So I just kind of cut it up and just reshaped it and turned it into the kid's head. But that piece right there is just something that means a freaking world to me because of who it honors. And just finding the pieces like that when I could find a mission to have my art serve a mission, it is just so much more powerful to me. And stepping into the shop and working hundreds of hours, to do something like that, it's so easy to go, oh, all the nurses and doctors that have been working so hard through COVID, like this is going to honor them, and all the, just our police officers and the rescue dogs, all of them, like it's just going to serve all these people and honor all these people.
Is that an actual real ladder?
No, I made the ladder too. So it's I use channel, and then it's channel, and I basically, what I do is I reference pictures. So I referenced one of the ladders that a firefighter would put against the side of the house, and then like they'd pull the rope and it expands. I don't know what it's called, but I had one on my house, an extension ladder, right? So technical terms.
But I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I just went outside and I took pictures of the one I had, and then I just scaled it down to what I needed to do, and then just basically made a ladder. And I tested it. Like I climbed up and down. I figured if someone was to, if like kids were to go into the park at night, like I would, if I was 13 years old, I would have climbed the shit out of that thing. And so I went and made it so I can climb up and down the ladder and hang out on it to make sure, which it's up off the ground. It's on a big pedestal. But yeah, I just overbuilt a ladder. It's way stronger than any ladder you could ever buy in a store, just saying.
Oh, I bet. Well, I mean, I've seen and looked at lots of sculptures, and I've always loved the modern art type of sculptures. And then, of course, now there's so many guys that are doing sculptures out of old motorcycle parts. But to build a sculpture with a person, my God, you blew me away with that. I mean, that's truly an art to be able to build that fireman, carrying a little kid, and just all the details you've got in it. You've got to have, a lot of artistic ability to see that, and you had mentioned, you don't draw anything out. The same with me. I can't draw for shit. People ask me for, well, can you give me a sketch? Nope. No sketches.
Imagine this, but in metal.
Yeah.
Like that's my pitch to my clients. And I was like,
yeah.
The fact that they trust me is mind blowing.
Yeah.
It just shows the different mediums of art that, like you said, you guys can't draw, but you certainly are a sculptor and creative. And obviously the same goes for DP, that you don't necessarily have to be, a drawing artist to be an artist.
Right. Hey, so the treasure chest that you made for the High Seas Rally, I mean, that thing was so cool.
Yeah, so this was really cool. We both got to see this in person. So it was neat to, sometimes pictures don't do it justice, or vice versa. But seeing that chest in person was like, wow, she really is creative and good at what she does.
No, that means the world to me.
How many hours do you think you had in this treasure chest?
Oh, all of them. I don't know. Like I'm probably like really awful at, like, I quote jobs and I do it based on like how a company would, like if I work this many hours, I bill out at this, my shop is that. And I just try to guess at how many hours. I have no friggin' clue. Like I have to look through my picture albums on my phone to go, okay, like this is the first day I started it. Like if I had to guess, and it's such a rough guess, I'm like 6 to 8 weeks maybe. I had to make a slip roll in order to make the top because that's 11 gauge steel, and I don't have, everything is hand built. When I say made by hand, like I freaking mean it, like I've got to, like, if I got to bend something, I've used my truck to drive, drive over metal to bend stuff. It's just, I had to make a slip roll and use 2 Bessie clamps on either side because it's 11 gauge. And, I need a machine that's bigger than my shop that would actually roll that like normally. It turned out really well though, because the way it did it, it was more like what an actual treasure chest with the headboards. I'm like, man, I was kind of pissed at first when I saw I had the lines. I'm like, no. And I go, hey, wait.
That's how a treasure chest would be, though.
It is exactly.
Hey, so are you in Daytona now?
Yes, but I don't have a shop yet. I'm still, and I've just made a post about this 2 days ago. I have been in Daytona for approximately 2 months now, and I've spent a solid 2 days looking for a shop, and I was uncomfortable both of those days. This is a huge move for me. So my shop, I've been a full-time artist 8.5 years. I've owned my house for 11. There is such a stability in that. And I had almost zero overhead because I am already living in my house. I just worked in my garage, which was connected to my house. And so coming down here, I've got to move my entire business. The cost of that, which is just I was mind blown when I saw how much it was to rent a truck. I went, holy shit. Being homeless before and I'm going to cry through this. Being homeless before and being a starving artist, which I know the reason why artists starve is because they don't know how to run a business. I know damn well how to run a business, and I literally wrote a book on it, but I'm still, even though I know this stuff, looking at the facts, the emotion of what I'm doing, I have been battling this, and I didn't realize I was battling it until, I had all these excuses. First, there was Biketoberfest. I showed up, a week before it, and have basically been, at Biketoberfest ever since. I had the High Seas Rally. I had Fab Tech. I had one event after another that I've been doing. And then there was Thanksgiving, and now Christmas is coming. And my family, been making all these excuses in my head and rationalizing why I haven't gone and looked for a shop. But at the end of the day, I'm scared shitless. This is a huge move for me. This is my dream. I've been working on this 15 freaking years. 15 years ago when I said, I know I need to be a sculptor, this shop that I'm going to get down here, which I'm going to rent for a year. It's not the permanent, but maybe it is. This has been the culmination of 15 years of work and building myself up and building my art and, growing who I am, growing who my business is. And I am literally just scared shitless. And it scared me into freezing to where I haven't done. And I'm coming up with all these what if this and what if that and what if this, and it's scary as shit. I know it's the right move. Daytona is home for me. When I left in March after Bike Week, I cried. I mourned for this city. I needed to be here. The people I met, the culture, the food that I mentioned, the people that are just, it's everything I've wanted probably for as long as I can remember, is the family that's here. The family that comes here, but the family that is here already. And I don't need to be anywhere specific because I sell online. My art's online, but it's community. The community that I have found in, being a biker it's church. I don't know how else to say it. This is church for me. So I know I'm in the right area. I just have to get over the bullshit gobbledygook of how much it's going to cost. And I've got to get in, the insurance and, it's
do you think it's because it's this is a big move? This is you have real time getting a shop that's your own. It's not your garage, it's not a cellar, it's not a friend's shop. This is going to be all you need to do it.
I can invite people in. It's giving me space to invite my family, you guys, my biker family in, my community. It gives me room. What I really want to do is what Tom Banks has done is his clubhouse, that. And I didn't know that's what I wanted until I'm that right there.
We all want Tom Banks's clubhouse.
Yeah, right.
Right. That's that will allow me to create, to be in my space all the time, but then to invite, and he did meeting you up there, Dave, was and Laura, just I didn't know who was coming to dinner. I know someone's coming to dinner. I met Tom for 5 freaking minutes at Bike Week. I didn't know who the hell he was. I happened to be in Rhett Rotten's Wall of Death. And a guy that was with Tom introduced us. Now, I'd been at Sons of Speed Racing. I worked on Chuck's pit crew, and by worked on Chuck's pit crew, I was his umbrella girl,
Yeah.
Chuck's
Yeah.
which is like
Yeah.
was so much fun.
Oh, there he
Yeah,
is.
Chuck's
Moonshine
watching.
Chuck.
He says
Yeah.
Bobby the welder.
Yeah, I'm like I met Tom for 5 minutes, and he goes, "Hey, if you're ever in the Pittsburgh area, look me up. I got a place you could stay. You could stay at the clubhouse." I was like, "Cool." I happened, like, a couple months later, was up there to donate some tools to a really cool shop that is teaching inner city kids how to weld art, and it's going up in the city of Pittsburgh. I had a whole bunch of stuff. I'm like, yeah. So I know I could bring it down there, and so I basically sent him. I was like, hey, I'm coming through, and he's like, yeah, I got some friends coming to town. We could go to dinner. I'm like, cool. Now, I had no clue, and like, look at what I fell into. I want to do that for people. Like, that's what I need to create down here, and maybe it takes me a year of renting a place, but that's the vision, right? Like that. And so, like, oh gosh, like look how excited I get when I start talking about it. If I'm in here and I like all the what ifs, like it scares me into non-action. But when I start talking about what I will create with that, like I'm crying from joy now. It's not out of fear.
Hopefully after this show, you're gonna go and look at some more places.
Oh, damn right. I'm on it now. Like the other day when I made that post, I was like, that's the bow being pulled back. I don't know if you guys have ever bow hunted, but when you pull a bow back, it's that I had to draw back into myself, and sit down and just get my shit, what I'm saying? Get my shit correct. And that's what that post was, is that was me letting the world know, like, look, I've been in fear, but it's time to let go, because that forward, it's infinite power, and that drawback is what allows that power to, to come out in its fullest.
I'm surprised that with all the people that you've met recently, we'll say in the last 6 months, and you're extremely personable person, and I'm surprised nobody has come forward and said, "Hey, Bobby, I've got a shop. My friend's got a shop that you can rent, whatever."
I've got a lot of people pointing me at different shops. I've gone and looked, like I said, I spent a couple of days. I found some places I thought were cool. It was either one thing or another, but it's like there are definitely people that have been above and beyond beautiful and have made contacts for me, and I've gone and chased those down. But it was I think waiting, I think that time has allowed me also to get real clear on what's important. And at first I thought I wanted like an old vintage gas station, but I was like, yeah, and I was telling people that's what I want, because it's such a cool vibe, and I can make a little Barbie museum in it, because that was part of what I would like to begin. But the more, the longer like this journey's going on, like I thought that was it, but it's Tom's shop. It's Tom's. It's a clubhouse, man. Like I want a clubhouse. I want to have space to bring other people in, and just share my space with other people. Bring them into that, and create together. I don't know, but just have that place where I can host people. I think that would just be so much fun to do for others what Tom did for me, and that was just like he didn't even know who I was. He's like, yeah, I mean, like I could be some weirdo, which yes, I already am, and sure everyone already knows that. He definitely invited the weirdo in, but also he's an artist, so he gets it.
Yeah. Well, we moved. We had a big shop. We had a 12,000 square foot shop. I mean, our shop was every bike builder's dream. Believe me, we built the building, and I mean, it was just a beautiful, beautiful place. And we were doing really well. We had at least a year backlog on bikes, and then when the economy kind of shit the bed and everything started turning around, you know, we decided that it was in our best interest to downsize, and so in the meantime, I started looking for another place, and it took a few months, but when we found where we are now, I mean, I walked in and, I have a vision, and it was just a big open building basically. And I said, wow, I can make this work. So the same thing, you'll know when you find the right place, you'll know that it's the right place.
Yeah, I agree. I just need to start
To look.
to look,
Yeah.
to really look, to look with joy and with the knowledge that I'm on a treasure hunt, and that like the fun of like, oh, is this going to be it? Like it's that right there is keeping in mind the mission and how it's going to serve others, like knowing it's going to serve others, like it obviously will serve me, but knowing that I can also use it to serve others, that right there, like that changes everything, because sometimes I need to take myself out of the quotient. I need to take myself out of the picture and look at how it could help other people, because I tend to be the person, I'm like, it's so much easier for me to do something nice for you than it is to do nice stuff for me sometimes.
Well, you must miss not getting your hands dirty.
Um, Very much so, but also I have been creating while I'm down here. I can't not create.
Yeah.
And so my business is, half of it's in the shop and half of it, like half of it I'm working in my business and half of it I'm working on my business. So whether it's writing a book, updating my website, like I do everything. So I don't have anyone doing anything else. And so I went and like, I came back and I made a media kit, which I've never had before. And I go, oh, that's really cool. Like I can make a media kit. And now it's easy. Like when companies are like, oh, I want to work with you, I'm like, oh, do I have your permission to send my media kit? And I have like this fancy shit that I've made. It's
Professional.
I'm rebranding my. I know, right? I'm so professional. We'll use that in quote marks. I'm also mature.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we know that.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, just having I'm actually rebranding one of my books right now, which I wanted to do for I think about a year and a half. I tried to a little bit before, so I'm like, I'm still creating and I'm pouring creation into my business. It's just not the physical labor, it's the mental labor, and both of them bring me joy. But yeah, I miss hammering metal. I miss beating on shit, because it definitely is just joy. All right,
So
it's just sheer joy.
that last picture, one of those last pictures of you bending over with your welding helmet on, that one there, yeah. Right now, we're in the process of painting welding helmets.
Ooh.
For a big company, we're not at liberty to discuss too many of the details, but they're going to do a signature series of Perowitz welding helmets.
Boy, how lucky are they?
Yeah, it's pretty cool to get.
How lucky are they?
It's cool to get gigs where it's, we're not getting paid a lot to do them now, but you get royalties and stuff. So it's cool, like, 6 months from now to be getting a check for, I don't want to say doing nothing, but because
It's passive income, baby.
Right.
That right there is the bread and butter to my opinion. It's the only reason that I'm allowed to sit here for 2 months. And, I could take off the rest of the year, which technically, I mean, like I have and I haven't. But that passive income is the bread and butter. Like that is the key, in my opinion, to be a successful artist. And over long term, the creative freedom, when you have financial stability, the creative freedom that gives you is everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just wanted to say too that you were a huge influence on Laura. I think she told you she's going to welding school now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's doing a 17-week course and she's loving it. She's on the top of her class.
I bet she is.
She
Yeah.
make art. So it's cool. She comes home from school at night and she wants to talk about welding for an hour. I'm trying to watch TV and she wants to. But
oh yeah, tell her to call me. I've
yeah.
got all the time in the world for her, man. I'm super stoked for her, and I've seen the art that she's making already.
Yeah.
Before she had that, I am so excited for her, and I'm excited for the world, because there is going to be some amazing stuff coming out of out of her shop.
Yeah.
So,
Has she got a space yet? Have you like, that
Well,
she's taken over?
I have a big shop at home that I worked out of for 25 years. So it's just, now it's not getting used, and I still have equipment there. So she's
Oh,
kind of
man.
made a home out back there in my old shop. So she's got a great spot to work.
Oh man,
so
what a blessing.
you just finished this or recently. Tell us about
Yeah.
this sculpture because that is just so cool.
Yeah.
So if you look close at that, there's actually a sculpture on the tailgate right below it. Can you zoom in on that?
Yeah.
Oh,
I want
yeah.
to talk about this, and I think this is just and I appreciate this. Thank you. So on the bottom of the tailgate, if you look real close, there's a small little sculpture of a phoenix. Oh, here we go. I told you I'm going to cry through this whole interview. First of all, the big sculpture was commissioned by the Rotary in Elmira, New York, to be
Wow.
That is so
to
cool.
be created for the local cancer center. It's called Falk Cancer Center, FALCK, Falk Cancer Center in Elmira, New York. I've had members of my family suffer from cancer. I've had friends. I've had like relatives, and this cancer center has served our community for I don't know how long, but many people that I personally know. It's art with a heart, right?
Oh,
So
that's good. I like
Yeah.
that.
they approached me for it. I quoted it for them. They couldn't afford it, and so I donated 3/4 of that sculpture because I know they needed it, and I know I wanted to be a part of it, right?
Yeah.
So that is it is out back right now of the Falk Cancer Center. So that's the picture you've got right there is the display. They're creating more stuff out there. But what it is there is a giant long window at the back of the building where people get their treatment. And this sculpture was created for that space that while they're getting their treatment, that they can sit and look out that window and see something, hopefully inspiring. And when they approached me, they didn't ask for a phoenix. They said, we would like you to create something. And I said, immediately, I was just like, it needs to be a phoenix. I have a phoenix sculpture. I have a phoenix. It's not a sculpture, but I have a phoenix tattooed up my arm. That is my story of overcoming all the hell that I put myself through. Now, there are people out there in the world who did not put themselves in hell, but are directly living in hell, are living in fear, living in uncertainty. And for me, the first thing that came to mind was that overcoming, was that rebirth of self. And that's what they're, in my opinion, like that's what they're doing, is they're rebuilding themselves. And so it was necessary for me to sculpt this for them. The little tiny sculpture that is on the tailgate was the first phoenix that I sculpted 8 years prior. I was very proud of that sculpture at the time. I loved it was like I was deeply proud of that, and to see the difference between 8 years. It was a don't ever give up on what you believe is right for you moment for me. That was just, and same thing. It's just never give up. It's a never give up thing. Deeply blessed to have the opportunity, and thank you to the city of Elmira, to all the people at the Elmira Rotary for giving me that opportunity to give back. I walked into that shop every single day knowing that there are people suffering that need that vision. They need something, and it's so easy to create.
That is so very cool. Like even just the red, like being such a dominant color, that it'll stick out no matter what. If it's a blue sky, the red will stick out. If it's snowing, the red will stick out. Like
Oh yeah.
that is it is a strong sculpture, and the color is just perfect.
How did you paint
Thank
that?
you. So that's powder coated actually, and I was deeply blessed. I got a hold of my powder coater and I said, here's the deal, man. I want red, but it needs to be clear red. I need it to be able to see the details in the metal underneath. I don't want to cover up the details. And they go, that doesn't exist. I go, well, look. And actually, we were able to come up with a clear red. So it's candy apple red powder coat. And these guys just absolutely nailed the living shit out of it. And what's really cool about it is that sculpture changes because it's I can't explain it, but it looks like stained glass. I can't explain it. It looks like stained glass. So when the sunlight hits it, I mean, like it looks like glass. But then when it's like doesn't have the direct sunlight on it, it's like this deep burgundy red, like your shirt. Like it just has like, and it looks like it's got blacks in it and reds, and it's just it is a firebird for sure.
Yeah, it's very,
Yeah,
very cool.
exactly.
How about, so I this one was very cool. This angel. Who did you do this for?
So that's for Sullivan's Funeral Home in Horseheads, New York. And that sculpture is actually tattooed. I don't know how well I could get it, but that sculpture is tattooed on my arm. That is my very first masterpiece sculpture.
Where is it again?
That is in Horseheads, New York at Sullivan's Funeral Home. So Kevin Sullivan, who commissioned me for this sculpture, took the biggest risk of his career, I think, on commissioning me for this. At the time, I was making bookends, and I think this is 2016 that one was, and she's still my favorite. He commissioned me to make, he asked me, he goes, I want to do an angel, and he wanted to do an angel with praying hands, and I go, I've got a better idea. And that was my idea of the representation of loss and mourning, but the wings are up, and that represents hope to me. And that's why when I create my sculptures, a lot of them you can't see the face, but the wings are up, and it's loss, but it's loss with hope, and it's loss with, just we'll get through this.
Yeah.
So I created that sculpture for the funeral home, but it was for my grandma, who I lost in 93, 92, 93, 91, 92, somewhere in there. I was in ninth grade, so I think it was 91. My grandma was the only unconditional love that I love my whole family, but my grandma was unconditional love, like pure and simple, just unconditional love. I could do no wrong. I was her favorite. And when she passed, it was sudden. I had no warning, and there was no like, oh, grandma's sick. It might, and it was fudging devastating to me. I don't know if I can swear or not. It was devastating to me. I immediately descended into hell, and that's an understatement. And I told you like part of my story in the beginning, and that was a massive part of it, where it plunged me into the depth of hell. I didn't have the tools that I had today to deal with her loss, and so I used drugs and alcohol. I thought of my grandma the entire time I sculpted that, and it was, like I said, Kevin took a huge risk on me because I was making like bookends. I was making simple little things that I had basically I was welding together, and I hadn't sculpted anything. It was scary as hell to ask him for a price for something, and I will not tell you what I paid for it or what he paid for it, because today I'm just like, man, you're a moron, but also you're welcome, and I'm so grateful, because it was scary for me to ask, right? But that was me proving to myself and me proving to the world that up to that point, it was about a 7-year journey from me saying I wanted to be a sculptor until I produced what I feel like was my first masterpiece. That was living proof of I could do exactly what I said for years that I was going to do. And the fact that this guy was just like, I believe in you, right? Like when he commissioned that, it was him just saying, I believe in you. And it's just such a deep blessing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, that sculpture, that one there, that's awesome. So how do you come up with the wings? You just cut the pieces out and just kind of wing it, right?
I do wing it. So that one was, for her wings, I could still picture the whole thing. I had, was it 3/8-inch round bar that I took and made in the shape of those wings. And then, and like, I can't explain to you sometimes like how things come through me. I have an idea, I can see it, but I don't always know like how it's going to happen. And I just get into the shop and I start creating. And I know that you guys have got it's in the zone. It's Jody, where you're you're at 201 and you're pushing it, you're pushing it up to the the 210. It's like nothing else exists. It's just this. And it's like being in the back of my body, or behind myself, I can see my hands moving and I know I'm doing it, but like stuff comes through me. And I can't explain how I did it because I never had training in like building a flat pattern. But I took that and I built it like one side of the wing, it was flat. I put that curve in there. So you see where that curve is.
Yeah.
And I actually bent it was flat, like I think it's 18 gauge.
Yeah.
I took it and then just bent the other side of the wing over. And so that's each side of the wing is one piece and then folded over like that to make the thing. And I can't explain it, but it just friggin' worked.
No, that's really cool.
Yeah. This one, this one has got to be like one of my favorites. That is just so cool. How big is that? It's kind of hard to tell.
Is
Like
it
2 feet?
18 inches at the umbrella. So she's 18 inches tall. And so that's just a perspective shot of where, like, that's a cemetery that's by my my home in New York, the Aaron Cemetery, which I really love. I find peace in cemeteries. I've played in them since I was a kid. There's just something peaceful about them.
Yeah, your stuff is just so cool. It's so creative. It's really neat. Like even this one, that her hair is so cool.
So that's filler rod. That's steel filler rod.
Yeah, it's just really it's like I said, the stuff is just really neat. This one's cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love my skulls and my wings. It's hard to tell when you look at my stuff, isn't it?
How about this big man?
Man, yeah.
What is this guy?
So this is the tradesman. He was commissioned by Rock the Trades, which is an initiative to honor and showcase tradesmen and careers in the skilled trades, and that is the like the most in-depth sculpture, and it's taken me the longest out of everything. That was it took me 9 months to create him. He's 1/4 inch round bar and TIG weld. You do the math.
Wow.
Yeah, you probably
really
you probably weren't making much per hour on that because you just probably were so consumed in it that it's
I completely lost my entire ass on that. Like I did that for like I didn't even make a penny an hour on that. I'm pretty darn sure. But also, I made that, right? And so like there are jobs that happens, like which that hasn't even been unveiled yet, and there's a story behind it, and I won't get into it, but it honors and showcases everything that's special to me and all the people that I deeply admire. And so I can't wait to bring that one out into the world. So I still have him, and I still have him.
Did you commission that? Did somebody commission that?
It was commissioned, but the company was bought out by another company in the middle of me creating it. And the company that bought it was like the reason they bought it was because they wanted to do this giant initiative for the skilled trades. And I think they failed magnificently. And I still own the sculpture. They have not taken delivery of it. And so I'm going to showcase it in my new shop when I get it until they take delivery, which they just don't even respond to emails. So it was shameful on their part. And, but also like this thing exists now, and I will make sure that it gets the, like I said, like I'll make sure that it gets the honor that it deserves. So it was, people from all over the country sent in tools that their family or they owned, like family members, like that, their grandmas and grandpas used, that their moms and dads used, that that they themselves used, and those tools are integrated into this sculpture that in a way that just showcases, like, and it doesn't really show it like from that picture, but there's there's like a a wrench down his arm, like my dad's. I got one of my dad's scribes is in the arm. There's a giant auger down the front of the leg. And then there's a whole bunch of tools that I ended up welding onto the base of that also. That like there's just tools like just tucked in all over the place. And it is by far the most difficult thing that I've ever sculpted. But just the meaning behind it for me is everything. So one, I want to apologize to all the people that sent the tools in. Like, trust me, it will get the honor. that it deserves. I left the pockets open, like it looks like it's closed, but the pockets are actually opened. When people sent in the tools, I asked them to send in letters to tell me the meaning behind the tools and who it was. So that sculpture, the pockets are, when I unveil it, I'm going to read the letters and I'm going to put it into the pockets. And those stories are going to go along with that sculpture, because his story is our story. Like, we're all like, that's, like,
Yeah.
we stand on the shoulders of giants as craftsmen. We're taught by other people. And I just want to honor and showcase that. So, one, I'm so sorry to the people that did send it in. And two, and which I need to go online and say that it's just been like an underlying thing, and I've been kind of mad about it. Not kind of, I've been furious about it.
But you
Yeah.
came through on your end. You created the sculpture.
I did, but there's some people out there that need to know what's happened, and so I want to go in and I need to go in and talk about it. So thank you for asking about it. It gives me a chance, but it's coming, people. It's
Yeah.
coming.
Well, your family must be pretty proud of what you've done, huh?
That's an understatement. I cannot go in public with my mom because she goes, "Do you know who this is?" I was like, for frick's sake, stop. The guy pumping the gas doesn't care.
Yeah. And the best is they're probably like, oh yeah, like,
Yeah.
especially if it's somebody under 30, they don't care if you're not like a social media influencer. Who cares what you've done? Like,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Oh my gosh.
your
Yeah.
stuff is just so cool, and I hope that your sculptures get into so many more places and museums and that kind of stuff, because it should be shared. It should be everywhere. Like that man. I mean, somebody should step up and buy it and put it on in like a museum, or put it in front of a
Oh,
big business, that's a trade business, that's just so cool, and to
thank
give
you.
back to somebody else in a trade.
Yeah. I just want to say, and I wanted to say this in the beginning, and we just started going into it, but I cannot tell you guys enough how very much this means to me to be sitting here and talking to you guys. We've spent time in person, and I'm in awe, like absolutely freaking legends that I'm sitting here talking to. And just I'm just such like so deeply honored. Like, being on the high seas rally, and like Jody, you talking about about the salt flats and how you just like nonchalantly, and I know it wasn't, but just like so nonchalantly, like, I want 200. I cried through your whole speech, girl. Like, that was
Look at
the highlight for me, to stand in your well, to sit, because I was sitting down, but to stand in your presence and have you talk about like this is who I am. And it's just like, I know that you deal with fear because every human being does, but DP, for you to go just like, oh yeah, well, we can't go out to the salt flats without bringing a bike. I mean, it's who we are. Like, what you guys have created, individually and as a team, is mind blowing to me. And to call you guys friends is just the greatest freaking honor. And to have you look at what I'm doing and be like, holy shit, like,
we do.
I'm so grateful for you guys, for your journey, because it's so inspirational, like, to learn about, the hamsters and what they're doing and how they're giving back. Like, that's mission for me. Like, that's mission. Like, not maybe not so much to create a group, and maybe it is create a group, and who knows, right? I don't know what it looks like, but to give back on that level is my life's mission. So thank you for showing your journey in that and sharing your story with that, and both of you for just
Well, the same goes for you.
Yeah.
thank you.
Be so proud of yourself, regardless of being a sculptor, but just so much that you've overcome. A lot of people don't do that. They can't. It's just, unfortunately, they get caught up in like a snowball, and they
Oh,
don't ever get out of it. So just that alone, like, DP said, your family must be so proud. Like, in that aspect, just that, never mind. Look at how cool stuff. I mean, this stuff takes a lot of creativity, never mind talent, to do that. You should
oh,
really be proud of yourself for all that you've done, and like where your sculptures are. Like the man, the climbing up the ladder, this one, the first responders, like, that is so cool. that is neat to even come up with that, and then to have a city come to you and say, "Hey, we want a sculpture."
Yeah,
That's really
it's
cool.
amazing. I've got two of my sculptures are in centerpieces in cities now. My hometown of Elmira, New York, has they put in a new roundabout and commissioned me a couple of years ago to make birds for that, which was super cool. And because it's up so high in the roundabout, I've had a hard time. Like, I need to hire someone with a drone to go over and like get the video of that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it is just such a deep honor. Like, it's I don't have. I'm like, I wish I had better words to describe how damn grateful I am to just to be who I am today. But like, this journey has, I'm so grateful. Like, let me like kind of go back a little bit. I'm so damn grateful for my drug addiction. I'm so grateful for my, the mental health issues I've had. I'm so grateful for, just all that shit that I've gone through, because it's made me who I am today. And today I understand, like, I was put on earth to suffer and overcome that so that other people have hope. Like, I was put on earth to give other people hope. And I, like, when you're in the middle of suffering, you don't understand. Your family has just gone through a major tragedy, a major, like, you guys are, I can't even begin to understand what you guys are going through. But I will tell you this, there's going to be so much beauty that is going to come from it. And it's like, you'll always hold on to that pain. My grandma's pain, I'll always hold on to that because it's part of who I am. And I kind of love it, right? Like, I kind of love it because it's part of. And, the post you made, Dave, of like you were creating through the pain. My most beautiful sculptures have come because I am creating through my pain. I sculpt pain and I sculpt power. And that's where I am with what I do, and I know that something beautiful will be born out of this. It's the phoenix. It's you will rise from this, and you will rise stronger and more powerful, and you're going to do a lot of beauty because a lot of beautiful things because of it. And it's who we are. Is what we do as artists is we translate emotion, and it's I'm brokenhearted for you, but I'm also very excited because I've seen what you guys have done, and I know something really beautiful is going to come out of this.
Do you know who Chopper Gary is?
Yeah, he was on the cruise with us.
Yeah, big guy,
And
had a cute little wife.
Candace.
I probably damn well have pictures with him.
He just posted. He said,
I
"Oh,
selfied with everyone. Like, everyone was just amazing, amazing.
So Gary just posted. He says, "Holy crap, you've got everyone tearing up. Great show."
And he said Facebook needs a hug button.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Facebook. I love you guys so much.
So Bobby, how can people find you? How can they follow you? I have your Instagram here at Bobby the Welder on Instagram. You want to tell people how else can they follow you, watch your work, see your work, buy your work?
Oh, I make it super easy for y'all to follow me. Whatever platform you like, I'm on it. Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm on all of them. And then my website, barbiethewelder.com. And if you're looking for merch, you can check out my Etsy shop. I have stickers and t-shirts, and I think I have one like really simple sculpture. I say simple, and I have like one sculpture left on Facebook that was just something that was it a skull with wings? It's just like I don't know, like, I randomly get the ideas to make stuff. I'm like, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know Jeff Decker?
Yes. Let's see. And forgive me because, gosh, I'm like, I might know him in person, but I damn well know the name because I've connected with him, I think, on every social media platform I'm on. So I'm like, it's kind of a weird thing because I spend so much time on my social media. Like, I feel like I know people.
Yeah.
And so I may or may not know him in person, but I damn well know the name.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff is probably one of the top sculptors in the world, as far as I'm concerned. But his medium is a whole different thing than yours. He casts everything. He makes molds and he casts stuff. I mean, he's an incredible sculptor.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's something I'm going to learn. That's a hurry up and get my big girl shop, because I'm gonna get myself a forge is probably the first thing. Is I've forged 3 knives so far, and I can't wait to play with the forge. And I'm not going into knife making, but I've got some ideas.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Good.
Yeah.
All right. So, like we said, if anybody is looking for you on social media, it's pretty much Bobby the Welder on all platforms.
Yeah, I keep it simple so I don't have to remember too much stuff.
They can find you. I pulled up your Instagram because that's what we do the most. We're not as social savvy as you. We pretty much Instagram and Bookface. That's about it.
Well, hey, if you guys want to go onto any of the other platforms, I'll give you a class, man. We'll hang out.
Yeah,
You can come to Florida. We've got sunshine here.
we
Yeah.
don't need welding tips. We want social media tips. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
It's blue. It's literally just like Simpson blue sky outside.
We can't complain though, because it's been almost 60 the last couple days here.
Oh,
So
wow.
But
yeah,
it's gonna get
Fantastic.
cold soon.
yeah,
Here.
any day now.
Sending you more sunshine.
Now, whereabouts are you now?
In Daytona.
I'm sitting in my bus right now. I'm parked in Bunnell, but I'm going to be moving south of here. Actually right down by the New Smyrna track, like my bus.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I won't make an announcement online. I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to make an announcement of where I'm going, but I'm going to the most badass place in New Smyrna beach area. And if you know, I'm like, if you know, you know. That's
So
how you guys.
New Smyrna. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be living in the New Smyrna area.
So you're in Burnell now?
I'm in Burnell now. Yep.
Well,
So
a quick story.
Yeah.
I used to. There's a guy named Mark Langello. He was one of the top photographers in the magazine industry. And every time I'd go to Daytona, he would shoot our bikes for all the different magazines. And his studio was in Bunnell. And it was. Do you know who the ice cream man from hell is? Jimmy?
No, but it sounds like someone I should know. It sounds like someone I'd be friends with.
He's a total weirdo.
Right? Yeah, the ice cream man from hell.
Give him my contact information.
Yeah, he lived in Burnell, right? So, anyways, Mark's studio was a really big garage that used to house heavy equipment, and he turned it into a real nice studio, but it was a real shithole area. He had a house that was all overgrown, and it was really like you didn't even really want to go in it, that kind of thing. And
I've lived there.
we were doing a bike for the Crazy Horse Monument in South Dakota, and we spent a year just getting permission to bring the bike up on top of the monument to photograph it. And so Mark Langello was going to shoot it. Well, he ended up getting sick about a month beforehand. And so I was talking to him regularly, and I mean, he was really sick. And it turned out after a few weeks, they determined that he was bit by black widow spiders. But by the time they figured it out, it was too late. They couldn't do anything, so he had to work through it.
Oh, wow.
Anyways, we did the photo shoot and everything worked out. Well, it turned out that the overhead door in his studio, there was hundreds of black widow spiders that had nested in the overhead door. And
Dave, I don't need more fear on buying a damn shot, my friend.
It's for him to tell you, huh?
and I think about that every time, that all the times I was in that studio leaning against that door.
Wow.
That was my Burnell story.
Yeah. So, needless to say, please don't move to Burnell because DP won't be visiting you.
Right? Yeah, but I'm at the top of the loop, and it's pretty badass right here. It is gorgeous, gorgeous area, man.
Yeah.
But I'll miss this, but also I will not miss it at all. I'll be back up here every damn day riding anyway. But yeah, Yeah, it's a really great area. So I'm going to spend a week over in Flagler Beach. I got my kids are coming into town today.
Yeah.
Actually, they're like I'm probably about like an hour or so away from them being like brought them down here for Christmas. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
How old are your kids?
See, my oldest is 29, really cute age.
Wow.
And
Early.
I've got an 18-year-old, and my oldest my oldest's girlfriend had a baby last summer, so I'm a grandma.
Nana.
Wow.
Yes, it's so exciting. This poor kid, his first word's gonna be the F word because I just like, hey Effer, what's up? I'm like, I just don't identify as a grandma.
Yeah.
No, you don't see. You're not old enough to be a grandma.
No, but also it is the coolest job on earth. I'm pretty sure. Well, other than being a mom is the coolest job on earth. The second coolest job on earth is being a grandma.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. You must be excited for them to come.
I'm super stoked. We're gonna have a blast. I got a lot of stuff for them to do.
That's
I'll
awesome.
bet. I'll bet.
Well, we don't want to take up too much more of your grandma time. So people can find you, Bobby the Welder. This is her Instagram. Any of the other social media platforms, same thing, Bobby the Welder, to follow you. I know you've gained some fans on here, as well as you have a bunch.
I didn't even look at the chat. I didn't know I could look at
Yeah,
the chat, which is probably pretty good to not, because I'd have gotten sidetracked anyway. I didn't see what anyone said, but thank you guys.
Definitely have some awesome.
Thank you, Facebook, for showing up, and it means the absolute world to me that you guys took your time today and talked with me. I'm so grateful. Thank you. I really look forward to hanging out some more, man. We're gonna have a freaking blast.
Yeah, well,
yeah, well, we'll see you in Daytona.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Worst case, we'll see you in March.
Yeah, definitely. It says Sons of Speed is coming up.
Come and visit you.
Are you guys coming down for Sons of Speed in January?
January.
Gibtown.
Yeah, it's not a race. It's just a show.
Oh, is that what it is? No, I don't care what it is. I'm there with bells on. Y'all can find me right there, man, right on the track. I cannot wait.
Yeah, so we'll be down in March.
Awesome.
The Sons of Speed thing is just a display at a show in January.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, so I'm still going to be there.
Here's your goal. We want to come and see a new shop in March.
Oh, you know what? Like, I definitely you should tell me you need to come see it January 1st so I really get my ass in gear.
Yeah.
That's a tight, crunch, considering today's already December 8th.
Yeah. Yeah, but when I get motivated, like, there's like nothing, like, it's, yeah, I move fast. When it's time to go, it's go. Like I told you, it's a bow.
Yeah.
So drawing back, and I've been drawing back, and I've let go. It's go time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for chatting with us. We are honored to have you today.
Awesome. I love you guys so much.
Thanks, Bobby.
See you soon.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Get your ass out there and get yourself a shop.
Yeah.
Done and done.
Yeah.
See you later.
Okay.
All right, guys. So that was our show for today. Once again, don't forget, if any of you guys want to get a Perowitz hat or one of the Perowitz t-shirts for somebody for Christmas, they are now being sold at competitiondistributing.com. Let me see if I can pull that banner up. Here it is, competitiondistributing.com. You can go over there and purchase one or both. They make great Christmas presents. So Competition Distributing now has our shirts and hats. And don't forget to give us a follow on YouTube. Here is our YouTube. It's just Perowitz. Go subscribe to our YouTube page. We've been posting videos constantly up there, as well as give us a follow if you don't already on Instagram. This is the Perowitz CycleFab1. My Instagram is Jody Perowitz. DP's is D Perowitz on Instagram. So give us a follow. We will be back. Next week for another show of Chopper History. So thanks, guys, for everybody commenting, watching, liking, sharing our post. We'll catch you next week. Anything else?
No, I think
pretty good.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay.
And thanks everybody for watching. And see you next week.
See you next week.